Yes, peace still the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. How are we all doing today? Today is July 19th of 2023. July 19th of 2023. And it is my water day. Yes, it's another Wednesday. Another Wednesday is here. Do I bring to us our little contribution of the day, all about our journey of peace during the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. Contributing onto this journey of perfect peace, must we please work together in reflection. Let us reflect together gracefully, therapeutically, so we can fulfill this journey of one mind, battlefield free. Understanding all cultures, all existence depend on perfect peace, achieving. Nothing in the physical of the simple eyes or of a technology enabling is stable. Everything has work. Everything is in the process to reaching perfect peace. Last Wednesday, our video was on integrity. Integrity and peace enabling from childhood into adulthood. They need to comprehend our stages of being, like a journey per miles, the stages of life. Did I get to draw a bean seed today? Right, a bean seed. And why did I draw this bean seed? When drawing the bean seed, I got to realize something about the bean seed. The seed is a complicated state of a plant. Some people say it is a capsulated plant, like a bird in a cage that needs to be free. Now we have had reproduction of humans, the two gametes that come together and make this beauty of a zygote that becomes an embryo. We understand even plants also have this experience of fertilization into a zygote and an embryo, all in one seed, needing not a male and a separate female. Well, of a bean seed, we know it has two separate parts, identical to each other. Why they call it a dicotyledon. And the maize plant, the maize seed has just one cell, indivisible, called monocotyledon. Now we have a monocotyledon and a dicotyledon. And so what is this to us? What does this seed capsulated bring to us of the mind? The body and the mind is the same. Even of the brain, when we look at the brain, we understand that it has parts of the body. And what is this to us? Does it mean that the parts of the body of the brain is the abstract to the concrete we see of the physical being of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and all that? We did get to understand this not too long ago, of the brain and its physical body. That today I want us to comprehend the seed, a plant capsulated, all about life, how life comes to existence. What is it about? What is this journey of a starting point to a destination? Peace still in the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking onto perfect peace. Trapped in a cage, the storm like the cage, like a thinking man, thinking to get to the answer, thinking to get to the solution. The thinking is not a problem. The cage is not a problem. But how long you stay thinking can begin to look like a jeopardy. You start feeling like a loser. Low self-esteem sets in, and then you struggle with low self-esteem, realizing that you are king to the crown. And how can the crown be king to you? And you try to get out of the crown, you begin to feel like one with arrogance, not following the right procedure of the crown giving way by the mind becoming of expected. Not the crown giving way with the king becoming more complicated. The difference between a disorientated king and a dead king of the human body. When the king is no longer a human being, their crown is left behind. Someone else have to take the crown. But when the king is struggling with the disability of the mind, the king is taken for therapy, still with the crown, even though the crown looks like greater than the king, looks like not belonging to the king because of his disability. Must the crown stay the worthy book the king can look up to and recover to the perfect, whom the king was before the disruption? How do we heal from this disruption in between us and the crown? How do we reach perfect peace? Being peace in the storm. The storm between us, peace still in the storm, and perfect peace. Peace still in the storm, back to peace that has no storm. Then perfect peace is our identity. We are peace still in the storm. When we reach destination peace that has no storm, we will be perfect peace. We are the destination at the end. Looking like far away, but the destination. Looking like starting a journey, but the destination. This is the same knowledge that I've been trying to process throughout these videos, are the same knowledge our ancestors have been trying to proclaim unto us. Being a holy cup upside down, we struggle with the same knowledge. Like dust to the earth, a cloud to the sky, all the same. It's just a matter of where you are. That we have traveled the skies to realize that the clouds are different from the dust of the earth because of our nature of being. When you become the mind, you know not flesh. Even the clouds are limited. Dust and cloud are the same. The crown looked at from a different point of view, upside down, and one looking at it from upright. Give you two different testimonies of the crown, the same crown. The seed. What I'm trying to bring to us about the seed is the seed of a plant. I learned that I learned from Wikipedia. Maybe relearned. Because some things are happening to us like new, but had already been taught, but just that when we're still very little of mind to grasp because of the brokenness. When you are brought to the world like a child, you are broken. You're recovering from your disorientation. When you fall, it's like falling and needing therapy, needing reorientation. Recovering from coma is what it's like from child growing up, looking for your identity. And when you reach a certain age and you're trying to recover what you were even told a few years back to what you're receiving right now, the same thing, the same knowledge, and the knowledge looking like new, you may think your teacher didn't teach you that. Some teachers get not to teach that and also recovering. Interesting how we've had even teachers who are also recovering tells us we need to recover early as possible because it's exhausting. It's exhausting teaching. You feel so contented teaching over and over. A fifth grade teacher will be teaching over and over a fifth grade. There's a time when they become tired and they have to retire. Teaching is beautiful. You keep the knowledge, but you become tired because of the physical. There's a place where we never get tired of doing the same thing over and over when it's perfect peace. Where there's a storm, we struggle. Even a smile is beautiful, but sometimes your cheek muscles get tired. Not because the smile is not beautiful, but because of the process of reaching perfect peace. We are still in the hospital. True, you can run, but you are still in rehab. Gracefully is what we need to educate each other, to re-educate, to relearn, to encourage each other. The education here is encouragement to wellness, not a new encouragement to wellness. The seed, we understand that the seed has the food part of it called endosperm. And then the embryo part of it develops into a new plant. The embryo feeds from the endosperm to develop into a new plant. Brings us to our being of humans. It is said that the sperm and the egg make the baby. What comes from the man, what comes from the woman. The woman has both X and Y. The woman has both X and the man has the X and Y. And the man brings the Y. If the man brings the Y to the X of the woman, it makes a boy. If the man brings the X to the X of the woman, it makes a girl. So the man plays a very big part in this role. Be it the X's or the Y's or the 1, 2, 3 or of the ABCs, be letters or numbers, what are we trying to explain? What is science trying to explain to us? The woman carries the child and the man gives knowledge to the child. How much knowledge the man gives to the child will be what the child will be. Who is the man? The mind. The man is the concrete expression of the mind. How much knowledge the mind gives to the body is how much the body can enable, can process with. Whatever the mind tells the flesh is what the flesh will do. If the mind tells the flesh, break into pieces, the flesh will break into pieces and cry, and the mind will cry even greater than the flesh because the flesh is only an object. What I may say with my mouth, I may never be able to take it back, but I can fix it by giving another word that will heal the other word that has gone out. My endosperm and the embryo of the seed. The woman is a man. Like it said, woe man, woe unto the man. How you will manage the woe man. Looking like upside down is king. Do not mistaken a woman for a lesser being. But now the woman knows that she looks unto the man to become complete. Until the man can express the woman of expected, can the woman be complete? Now, if the man takes too long to express the expected, only enables an arrogance of the woman. The woman tries to become a man, being a woman, and it becomes complicated. Man, you need to see where a woman yells at a man. It's awkward. But I tell you, if the woman doesn't yell, she will lose herself. When the screaming of a woman at a man is only an alarm for the man to wake up from his sleep. We need not a woman to scream for a man to wake up from his sleep. Why we need therapeutic communication? Because there are women who don't talk but can scream. Before those women scream, it is important for those women who understand what a woman is to help this man to be able to stand. Endosperm feeds the embryo. The man feeds the woman. Knowledge feeds our flesh, feeds our being. Knowledge feeds our being. So, talking about the stages of human life, like a journey it is. Last video, I gave a little example working with the stages of Lord Erikson, Sir Erikson, however you want to call him, he's Lord. Knowledge. According to Lord Erikson's stages of human development, normally we know we have three stages. We have the childhood, the adolescence, and adulthood. The childhood has to do with from conception, fertilization, onto becoming the first stage of being a human child, called infancy. According to Lord Erikson, it's called infancy from 0 to 1 year. Virtues of this being from 0 to 1 year is all about hope, trust, and mistrust. Trust and mistrust is what a 0 to 1 year old struggles with. Should I trust this body or should I get out? Miscarriages or brought into human life, still a miscarriage. That when you wake up, you feel like misplaced and you need to find your way back. However, we've come into this human world to realize it's only like a fall, needing to awaken. Some don't want to call it a fall. Some call it a stage of life, a stage of being, an expectation. Some call it human nature, a nature of being. But we never seem to keep it. We always want to get out of it. Even when we say we don't want to get out, we find ourselves just proceeding. The flesh cannot dwell in such existence of weakness. The woman cannot bear being a woman forever. She wants to be complete. The flesh wants to be complete. The flesh wants to get to the maturity of expected. Of the mind must be of battlefield free, and the flesh must also be of battlefield free. The invisible perfect. From infancy did I say we have to emphasize the need for integrity? Integrity, according to Lord Erikson, he says integrity of an infancy is called trust. Trust. And if you don't have trust, it means you have mistrust. Trust in the sense that you are hoping to trust. Because you have the hope to trust, you already have trust. Because you want to heal, you have healing. But if you don't want to heal, you stay not healed. You may not have been healed already, but because you're complying to wellness, you're already called the one healed. You call it to yourself what you want to get. When you go to medical school, you're a medical student. You're medical. But if you're not in a medical school, you cannot have the title medical. It's very important for us to understand what our ancestors have been trying to proceed with us today, the completion of healing out of a complicated state to uncomplicated. How do we reach the uncomplicated? Not alone. We all, not descending and not trying to go up. Your going up is not breaking one down. Our going up is all recovering. And those trying to break down already will be the model to encourage them to stay and wait because we are instead coming up. This is not paradise. The paradise here is the healing paradise, not health completely, but a process to health. It's paradise, but the process to health. Only a process to health, only a journey. If you're already in paradise, why come out of paradise to be part of a journey? When we are trying to get out of paradise, out of the paradise journey, must we understand from infancy that integrity is called trust. Hoping to trust. Will I add a little bit more onto the word trust because we have reached at a stage where we need explanations, we need details. We no longer want the summary, but the whole lecture. That is where we are now. We are instead broken into so many pieces that we don't need just the one word, but the details, the explanations, all that you can bring in testifies of how fallen we are, how fallen, how weak we have become of knowledge, how broken pieces. We are in so many pieces that we need to pick all the pieces. So broken of a word that we're now like in letters, needing to put the letters together if we can even find the word. When love is happiness, kindness, joy, peace. In this, at the state of our being, it's not even just about finding all of this other expressions of love, but the love letter all in pieces. We cannot even trace what we're even looking for. We need to find the letters of love and put together before we even know the others that we need to find in relation to love. That is how broken of pieces we are. Needing to find the root of a word before we can even find the branches. Now, we understand that according to Lord Erikson's human and development stages, you have the infancy, you have the toddler, you have the early childhood, you have the late childhood, the adolescence, the early adulthood, the middle adulthood, the late adulthood, that is all about it. 8 of them. But in the beginning, we know that it is supposed to be divided into 3: childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. But Lord Erikson breaks it down into 8: infancy, toddler, early childhood, late childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. And through all this, you have to understand the divisions of integrity, the branches of integrity, the different words of integrity. According to infancy, did I say trust? Hoping to trust. Hoping to trust is for infancy. Toddler, you have the anatomy versus shame and doubt. I will not call the word shame and doubt, but anatomy. A child who believes in self. There is no shame. That is the word for integrity for a toddler. No shame, no doubt. The anatomy of being, and that is of will, a child with a willpower, a child who does everything right and have no shame, meaning that they don't do anything wrong, but always right. I don't want us to look at the complicated side, but just the uncomplicated side that goes with integrity, that is expected at the end of human life, which is only a transitioning process to the perfect, the end of the transitioning to perfect. After toddler age, we have the early childhood, which comes with initiative, no guilt, but initiative, able to explore without guilt. Late childhood, you're industrious, is the other word for integrity. Adolescence, identity of self, without confusion. You know who you are at adolescence. And interestingly, adolescence is that age that you complete yourself of being, of finding your identity of self. And that's completion. Every other step after that, every other stage after that is only a matter of practice, of emphasizing on all you've learned from 0 to 18 years old. Hoping to trust, having your will, your power, yourself, and being purposeful to accomplish your perfect peace, and being competent and faithful to your competence, being faithful to self. Fidelity at adolescence is being faithful to yourself. For you, now you know your identity, you become faithful to yourself. And when you're faithful to yourself, you're able to know your friends because they are always like you. They say birds with same feathers flock together. At the age of 12, 18, you begin to know your friends. But it's a struggle with us. What I'm giving to us is the light. You need to hold on to the light when you're traveling the road. So whatever you see, you're able to compare to the light. Either you're helping them adjust or you are adjusting yourself. Hold on to the light. It's either you're adjusting yourself or you're helping them to adjust. Because when you're trying to adjust them and they don't want to adjust, you hold on to yourself. You make sure, oh, I have to be of expected. I have to be of worthy city on the hill for the other. Even though they don't want to change now, they will change tomorrow. Must I stay with the light? Do not pressure them too much. Give them time to think. Give them time to reflect. Because they also come from another way. They also come from struggles. You need to give them time to think, knowing that they also have will. A toddler, 1 to 3. 1 to 3. When you meet each other, you know they have a will. They are toddler. They don't need shame. They don't need guilt to be put on them. They don't need shame. You don't want them to doubt themselves, but to find themselves. Early childhood, you don't want them to have guilt. 3 to 6. 6 to 12, you have the competence. Industrious. Very, very important for us to know all this. We will talk more about this throughout this month. And then, after your adolescence of being faithful to yourself, fidelity, you be a good friend, an expected friend. That's when you really get to have peers. 12 to 18. And having peers, you must be vigilant of self to be the right peer. It's all about peer, but you have to know the peer you have to be, the city on the hill, the one to always guide others. Or while walking with others, is either you're guiding or you're walking with them. And now guiding them is not to overthrow them, but to be of expected. That when you tell them what is supposed to be done and they don't want to do it, you stay upright. While several times you remind them that you have to give them time to think, give them time to be able to use their self-will. And then the next stage, you have the early adulthood, 19 to 45. All about love. When you're complete of identity, love is permanent. Love is integrity. You've practiced integrity from 0 to 1 until age 1945. You are now of perfect. You're not questioning your friends anymore, but knowing now there's a difference among people and myself. I've walked around peers. Now I know me. I know what they're missing and I know what we have to be. You become the mind and they become the body. Love. You become love. They'll depend on you. 19 to 45. Equality. You become equal. But you stay the light. Twin. Fraternal twin. You begin to look like fraternal twin until they become identical twin. It's a matter of reciprocal receiving. You must make sure you feed yourself of expected, even though they are short. The fraternal twin looking to become identical. You're not trying to become the other one. You're not trying to replace the other and the other replace you. But you maintain yourself until they become like you. Reciprocal. It's what you're looking for, even though you are looking like fraternal twin, equal. Make sure your love is not broken. You must stay the light. You become love, complete. Whoa. Faithful to yourself. Now you know the other friends and yourself. And then you stay the love. Confidence. Early adulthood is perfect. You cannot fail from your early adulthood, 19 to 45. And then middle adulthood, 45 to 64. It talks of generativity versus stagnation. But we'll stay with generativity, which has to do with your effectiveness at work. Always checking yourself. Love has to do with always checking yourself. Being generative. You don't just stay stuck. You don't just feel like complete and stay. You have to always check yourself. You have to always check yourself. Like it is said, the patient is center of care, but you have to know your priority. Because without you of being of expected, how will you maintain love? How will you maintain love? You have to be of expected. You have to always check yourself. Is how you maintain the love that you are. Fidelity, faithful to yourself. And now you found the love that you are. Stay to yourself healthy and make sure you keep on checking on yourself. Generativity. Until all are recovered so you don't fall short. Care, very important, effective work. Care, self-care is very important. 45 to 65, self-care is very important. And then you have the late adulthood, 65 until you transition out. Here it's all about integrity. You take the end goal completed from 65, and this has to do with the universal, not only humans, but all existence. You begin to make sure that all is healthy. And at this age of 65, most of the time, the young, the other ages, like drift from you, looking at you like a senior, like one who does not even belong. They give you the drifting from you is to give you time to adjust with your transitioning out. They don't want to be so much in your way, but giving you time to be able to adjust to transition healthily. Sometimes it feels like neglect. Sometimes it feels like rejection. Maybe because you think, maybe because of my body. Do you think I cannot still be young like you are? It's a matter of understanding. With integrity, you really get to understand that when the other ages are a little bit away from you, it's the matter of giving you time to be able to practice how to transition, how to belong on the other side. And that would take being universal. How you walk with animals, how you walk with trees, how you walk with your surrounding. You find most of this always spending more time with themselves and other than humans. They spend more time with other things than humans, doing knitting, and they do other stuff, either among themselves or farming. Like they do more other stuff than with humans. They pay more attention with other stuff than humans. Sometimes it relates with dementia, why some become dementia and cannot even remember humans. Some remember their animals than their children. Some with more friends with their pets than children. It's a matter of transitioning. It's not you've learned all with humans. Now you have to. If you had forgotten the animals, then you start grasping the little you need to have with the animals, and then you transition. You have to love all existence. I hope this helps us understand a little bit what human life has to do with transitioning and the journey of peace during the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking onto perfect peace. We'll get to continue this understanding, this reflection next Wednesday. But I hope this little gives us a worthy thought to reflect upon concerning transitioning to perfect peace and introducing integrity very early in life. Understanding what trust is. Trust only means hoping to trust, because you cannot trust anything, even yourself in this world, but trust only perfect peace. Still a process. It's not the end. Cannot trust the journey, but only the destination. You cannot start sleeping in the journey when you haven't reached the destination. Trust is rest, hoping to rest. You start with integrity. Did I get to unlearn that? Did I get to unlearn the meaning of integrity according to our world point of view? It is a practice of being honest, consistent, and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values of life. Moral, ethical principles and values. Moral, ethical principles and values. Very, very important for us to know this expressions of our human life so we can navigate gracefully, especially teaching the young whatever we missed so they don't miss, because we really need a swift journey to perfect peace. When we are complete, the children should be even more complete with us, because if we have the knowledge, how would they be still short? If I have worked, why should the children not have enough? Being honest, consistent, and uncompromising. We start this very early of age. But because we don't put it that way, of the one that it is, integrity, we begin to struggle. Oh, it's kindness. Oh, it's smile. Oh, it's happiness. Oh, it's joy. All of it is love. When you know it's love, you need not find kindness. You need not find joy. You need not find, you just find everything in just love. You need not break into pieces, going left and right to find, we find it all in the center. Love. Integrity. Integrity is love, the highest of us. Perfect peace. When you finally complete with perfect peace, you must know you are from the day that you come into this world. And it makes it even more easier to travel this road, not struggling with the disruptive stage part of the stages of life, which are the mistrust, shame and doubt, guilt, inferiority, role of confusion, role confusion, isolation, stagnation, despair. We will not even have all that if we understand integrity from the beginning. Is what we are up to. The breaking into pieces is not to disrupt us. We must hold on to the end goal while working on the stages of the intervention. The end goal must be with us right from the beginning. I hope we'll understand this more better next Wednesday. Thank you all for listening today. A little bit longer video, but I hope I've been able to detailedly explain of the best I can today of what integrity is to us, of perfect peace, turning the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. Thank you all for watching today.